and I have a team of 12
You
right now.
better have a team.
Exactly, right? And they're really good.
Okay, so here's a couple business questions then. Okay, just to spitball. I'm enjoying this, by the way. This is cool. So, what's your two questions? What's your average? One of your team members that manages other people's podcast and distribution, bookings, whatever. How many clients can one team member manage?
5. Welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast, where we bring to you the most successful, happy, fulfilled gentlemen from around the world who have been able to conquer themselves, their life, their marriage, and their businesses. You will be learning from 4-dimensional gentlemen who have cracked the code to the science of having it all. The question is, how can married entrepreneurs with kids become gentlemen, achieve true freedom, and build a successful, happy, and fulfilled life, marriage, and business? This show will give you the answer for that. My name is Alex Ramirez, and I'm your host, and you're welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, Fulfillment Talk podcast. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. As always, I have an incredible guest with me today. And I know I always say that, but it's because it's always true. And before I introduce this gentleman to you, I just want to give a big shout out to all of you who have been leaving likes, comments, and reviews on all the major podcasting platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, and to those who have been watching on YouTube as well. Thank you very much. And I want to ask you for a small favor. I want to ask you that if you get something out of this interview, if you get some type of value, some type of insight, a skill, or the inspiration to go out and take action and keep on moving forward towards your goals, I want to ask you to please share this episode with 10 friends. Since this is how we grow, this is how we are able to share our message and motivate, inspire, and bless other men out there, other entrepreneurs out there to change their lives and get to where they want to go. And today I have Cody Askins. He's founder of 8% Nation. He's CEO of Cody Askins LLC, co-founder of Secure Agent Marketing, speaker, entrepreneur, and author of 0 to 6 Figures, which is a really cool book, and creator of the Cody Askins YouTube channel that has amassed over 70,000 subscribers. And Cody Askins owns and operates 6 companies totaling more than $10 million in revenue annually. And he's the founder of the 8% movement and the 8% Nation conference, the industry largest events for insurance agents, to attend. And thank you very much for being here, man. And you're welcome.
Dude, that's amazing, brother. Thank you.
So, Cody,
it's a good start, man. That's a great intro.
Thanks. Yeah, it comes out. Yeah, I mean, I've practiced it quite a bit, right? 128 times.
Dude, it's amazing. I mean, you do anything. That's a testament, by the way, to then why people are following you and engaging with you and listening to this thing right now is you do anything 128 times. You're going to learn a ton. You're going to skill up in a massive way, and you're going to evolve into this different human that you just didn't think you could get to that fast. So kudos to you. Incredible job. It's crazy. You mentioned before that like you could barely speak English 3 years ago. Dude, you speak so well now. It's a testament to you and the grit. So thanks for having me on.
Thank you, man. And just to add to that, right? The way that I explain it is that there's 5 currencies in the world. A currency is something that you exchange for something else. You exchange time for money, money for time, etc. Well, there's 5 currencies, right? The first one is network. And that's what I'm building right now with my podcast, right? And through this network, I'm getting attention, right? Because I might not have a big audience yet, but like the people that I've interviewed do, right? And, I've gotten the chance to get on there in front of their audience. Money, right? Some of my podcast guests have become my clients, and they've given me referrals and put me in front of my ideal clients. So through building a network, I've gotten attention, money, knowledge, right? And with all of these, I'm collapsing time, right? So those are the 5 currencies of the world, and I'm getting those by building this. So it's been great, man. And the first thing that I tell my guests to do, man, is I tell them to walk us through their entrepreneurial journey in 75 seconds or less.
Ooh, boom. I can do that. So I got started in the insurance industry. My dad's been in the insurance industry for 32 years. I got started in the insurance industry at 19 as an intern. Fast forward to 20, I was a full-time student athlete playing basketball, taking 21 credit hours a semester in college. I decided to become a full-time insurance agent, had no insurance experience, no sales experience. By cold door knocking and literally cold calling out of the phone book, pretty much, I made $117,391.13 in my first 8 months at 20. Fell in love with insurance, sold for years. Now we have a bunch of companies that help the insurance industry. And in 2015, I started a YouTube channel, Cody Askins YouTube channel, that helps insurance agents. That's grown over time. It's evolved into everything else we have now. And then our conference will have a couple thousand people in Dallas this year. And so it's really evolved. We've learned a ton. We've added a ton of people and business partners and companies. But it really started, like you mentioned earlier, with attention and a brand and a willingness to want to help people in some way. So I don't know if that was 75 seconds or not, but it's probably pretty close.
You crushed it, man. So let's see, something very interesting, right? Which is you were 20, right? You were in your 20s, had no experience, had watched your father though, like be in the insurance game for basically all your life. And then with no experience, you went from 0 to 117,000, and something else dollars. Was that your first year?
Correct. It was my first full year selling insurance. Yeah.
Nice. So then, because that's pretty rare, right? Like I started entrepreneurship in insurance. I got recruited by PHP, right? You're probably familiar with that by that.
Yeah.
And I did really good. And part of the there's two reasons why I did good. The first reason is because I gave myself purpose. Like I wasn't selling insurance. I was helping Hispanic people from the middle and the lower income class to get out of a generational cycle of poverty and build wealth. Right. That was the first thing that, it drove me. And the second thing that I think why I did good in very short amount of time is because I didn't do things the same way as everyone. Like I run like a simple funnel and I generated my own leads. Right. So, but what about you, man? Like, why did you go from 0 to 117,000, more than that, right? In the first year when it's a pretty hard, like industry, and most people either fail or give up.
Correct. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good question too, because 92, that's where 8% comes from behind me on my polo, on my pop socket, everywhere else. 92% of insurance agents fell in their first 3 years. So it's a very tough career. Most people don't realize though that there's more millionaires in insurance than any other industry in the world. And so because of that, it should be hard. But I had a father that spoke into me that said, hey, you're going to make 6 figures your first year. When I didn't think it was possible, it sounded so big at the time. And maybe somebody's listening and it feels so big at the time. But I said, hey, if somebody else can do it, I can too. I actually went to a recruiting meeting and we'll just say there was 10 of us in the room. Their manager had all of us stand up. He said, take a look around. Then he said, 9 of you sit down. And then he said, he left one person standing. He said, maybe one of you will make it.
Damn.
I'm like, bro, like that's what, but I'm very competitive, as I'm sure you are too. And I said, if there's going to be a 1, Alex, I'm going to be the 1. So I actually took out a pen and pad just like this. And I wrote, I will earn $100,000 my first year in the insurance industry at 20 years old. I dated it. I signed it. I hung it up in the wall of my cubicle. And then every day I went out to make that a reality. And I knew as long as I sat and asked 10 people to buy life insurance every single week, that I would make 6 figures. And so then I just cold called and cold door knocked until I did that. So.
Nice. Awesome. Well, man, there's a lot that, that we can learn. First of all, you had your father, right, telling you that it was possible, right? Like planting the seed of belief of, making 6 figures as an entrepreneur selling insurance is pretty doable, right? So you saw it, and that's one of the reasons why. And another thing, man, and you wrote it down. And there's this one of my guests the other day shared this amazing concept, this idea. He told me, what if God is death? Like he can't hear, right? So like people praying, for things, God can't hear them. But you wrote it down, right? So, that's why writing that goes down works, because maybe God is death, and the only thing that he can do is see. And if he sees what you want written down, he'll help you with that, maybe, right? And I just wanted to that just bring that up. That just came to my mind. And another thing that came to mind is that you said, ask 10 people to buy insurance. So like, meaning ask for the sale, right? Most people, the reason why they never get to like sell something is because they don't ask for the sale. So that was a pretty important point.
Thanks, man. I mean, I think too, most people don't realize this. I think the stat's true. I heard it from somebody else, who knows? But no matter what's true or not, it's a big stat and it's got to be close. You are 900% more likely to hit your goals if you write them down every single day. 900%. Like, everybody's listening and they're like, dude, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. Most people have too many goals anyway. They just need like one to start, right? And get obsessed with that one. But most people, they have goals, but I would say, how serious are you at achieving whatever you want in life? And my first question would be, do you write those down every single day? If you knew, in listening to this right now, and you want to be a modern gentleman, well, I can tell you this, there's a lot of cool modern gentlemen out in the world like Alex that are achieving some big stuff. And if they told me, dude, now you don't need to take some action, but writing it down, you have a 9% more chance of hitting it. I think I'd write it down.
Yeah. Not only that, but make a plan, right? And track and yeah, for sure, man. So I'm 21. I think I told you this, right? So
no, that's freaking crazy.
Yeah, I'm 21, man. I'm excited.
You've done 128 podcast episodes, which is insane. You already did insurance before. I mean, I thought he's got to be at least like mid to late 20s with all of this life experience and business experience, you know, but dude, that's amazing.
Well, yeah, thank you, man. But yeah, I'm 21 and right now so you mentioned about the goals, right? I remember when I first got into entrepreneurship, I wanted to do like 15 things. And I thought for some reason that I was capable of it, right? Like, I had this delusional side of me. I've always had it, which is good, right? To a certain extent. But like now, one of the keys to being able to get to 128 podcasts in 6 months, and get my company that I just started to $1 million per year in the first year.
Boom.
Like, I just have those two things that I'm focusing on, and my entire life, like, I literally, the only two things that I think of are those two things.
Yeah.
And that's the only two things that I work on.
That's incredible.
And I actually am very excited to get with you, man, because I wanted to ask you a selfish question.
Okay.
Right. So look, all right. So this is what I got going on. My goal at the beginning of the year is getting my current business to $1 million per year, right? Which is $100,000 per month. I have a recurring revenue model, and I'm basically halfway there, right? And I know exactly how I'm gonna get to $1 million per month, to $100,000 per month, right? Which is $1 million per year, more than $1 million per year. I know exactly. So then my goal is too small right now. Like, my goal is too small because I know exactly how I'm gonna get there. I'm halfway there. So now, like, I'm thinking to get there, to get to 8 figures, right? Which is something like that. Holy shit! Like, is that even possible? And obviously it is, right?
Right.
But that's a goal that, it's 10x times bigger, and it makes me like question, like, how am I gonna do it? Which is good, because if you know how and what you need to do to achieve this goal, then it's too small. So the question that I wanted to ask is, like, I'm doing the sales right now, right? Like, I'm bringing in the sales, and I'm taking sales calls and all of that. But I have like a limiting belief, or I don't know what it is, that, like, I want to, because, like, I have people who edit videos, I have people who like build podcasts, I have people who do every single part of whatever it is that we do, right? The service that we do. And then I was thinking, well, like, for sales, well, I can have people who sell, right? And to market, I can have people to market. But for some reason, I don't know why I don't take the step to, like, build a sales team.
Ooh. It's a big, dude, that's a big piece, bro. Like, that's a huge piece. I'm the best promoter, salesperson, and speaker in our company. However, I've got, between all the companies, I've got 100 other people that are better at their role than me, right? So dude, the hiring piece is huge. The sales piece is huge. Also, I don't view salespeople as an expense. I don't view people as an expense at all. People are an investment. If you hire the right people, they will make you more money. I'm telling you, your company, you add a couple of salespeople, your company will double in 90 days. right? Well, simply because, and what's funny too is we do an internal, most people don't do this. We do an internal profit and loss statement on every single sales rep every month. It's online. We track, it's like a Google sheet, right? We track what we pay them. Actually, we take the revenue minus all the expenses, salary, commission, taxes, any money we spend on ads, whatever, right? And we take what they produced minus all the expenses of what of them being there, and that gives us a profit on them for the month. And we always profit on every single sales rep we have. Well, the next question somebody should ask when they hear that is, dude, why don't you have 40 sales reps? Well, we have about a dozen on the marketing side. We have several on the CA side, but I have a couple ladies that all they do year round is sell sponsorships for our conferences. They're going to sell an additional probably $500,000 to $1 million a year just in sponsorships because that's their focus and their role. So I would say, are they an expense or are they an investment, right? So the fastest way to grow a company is twofold. It's brand and people, right? Well, you're figuring out the brand piece. You've got the podcast, you're rolling, you're 128 episodes deep, which is nuts. I'm wondering how long that took. The second's the sales piece. It's the people piece. And the fastest way to grow is by delegating everything. And then you focus on doing 3 things max and you delegate everything else. And I can promise you, your company will absolutely explode. Now, most people are too scared to take this advice. They're scared of spending money. But if you're already doing 50 grand a month, you could afford several people, right? You could afford several people right now anyway, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think for some reason I'm scared because, you know, that what are the 3 things that you do, man?
I promote. So sales, promotion, and speak. That's it.
Got it. Yeah,
Right?
the highest leverage activities, right? So I would like lead my team, right? Like I'm a really good leader. I think, right? And obviously, like if you ask any leader, they'll probably say that they're a really good leader. But I think my core values are motivate, inspire, and bless people, right? That's what I do. And I think I'm really good at doing that. So like leading people, you know,
I think you are too.
Thank you, man. And other, you know, and speak. I've gotten invited to speak on 5. And this is not about me, man. I'm sorry, but I just like really look up to you.
Please, this is good, dude. This is
and
cool.
I have I don't know, like a need to validate myself with you. I don't for some reason, right?
Oh, you're right. You're right. That's awesome, dude. So you've been invited to speak on 5 stages
in the past 2 months, and it's come from my podcast.
At 21, bro, like you need to be. I mean, I'm not saying get arrogant, egotistical, or whatever, but dude, you need to be sharing that stuff because that's powerful. Like people are attracted to that. At 21, gosh, you're so far ahead. Like, yeah, I made 6 figures, but I was selling insurance. I wasn't building a business, you know. And I did well, but man, I think 10 years later, I'm 31. I think so much bigger. I mean, we'll do closer to 30 million this year than 10 million, by the way.
Nice.
But I think so much bigger. I take so much more risk. I'm so much better of a leader. I'm so much better as a speaker. I'm so much better as a promoter. And I'm also so much better with managing the personalities and relationships of a bunch of team members. Because that's a huge learning lesson for a lot of people along the way. And I'm still 31, so there's going to be some old dude on here that's like a real modern gentleman that's going to be listening to this. It's going to say, these young cats don't know what they're talking about. Just wait till they get to 41 or 51 or 61 or 112 I don't know, whatever, right? But we're learning, you know, we're keeping our ego out of the way and we realize, hey, I'm doing good. I don't know it all, but that's why I listen to this. I love podcasts. I love YouTube videos. I love courses. I love hiring coaches, you know?
Yeah. So, man, so let's talk about thinking big because I think, you know, your success will be directly correlated to how you think, right? Like right now, I'm like, my goal was $1 million. And then I'm like, no, like I know exactly how I'm going to get there. And just by even believing, man, that I can achieve 10 times bigger, right? That allows me to now like talk to you and be like, man, how do I build a sales team?
Correct. Right? It's not hard. It's not hard. Well, what product do you sell? What's your company? I know that this is like a random strategy brainstorming session, but your people will love it.
Yeah. So my business is, so I started my podcast 6 months ago, right? because
did
I spent
121 episodes in 6 months?
128. Yeah.
I mean, whatever. How many do you do a week?
About 15.
What else do you do?
That's it. That's all. And lead.
That's awesome.
Because my podcast guests, become my clients.
128. Okay, so what do you do?
All right. So I spent a year. Let me tell you, like the little backstory.
Sure,
I spent a year trying to pitch as a 20-year-old, right? 19, 20-year-old, trying to pitch 30, 35, 40-year-olds on how to grow their business without sacrificing time, health, and relationships, right? How to become a gentleman. I did over about 60 to 70 sales calls. And all I got was no, right? Like rejection, because obviously you wouldn't give 20-year-old money, right? To help you with the relationship. Hey, sorry for the interruption. Real quick, do you want to know how I've been using my podcast to build a multi-million-dollar network with over 100, 7, 8, and 9-figure entrepreneurs, reach hundreds of my ideal clients with my message, coaching, service, and podcast, get invited to speak on 4 stages in the last 2 months alone, throw my own events, and have over 100 successful entrepreneurs being willing to speak at my events, become a millionaire in 1 year, get mentored by multimillionaires, and achieve goals that I thought were going to take me 10 years to achieve in 1 year, and ultimately get unstuck and make quantum leaps of progress in my business and life with less than 1 hour of work just by being myself. If you answered yes to any of those, I just want to invite you to a free training showing you how I've been able to build a multi-million-dollar network that is helping me achieve bigger income goals faster with only 1 hour of speaking and just being myself. To be honest, I thought I was going to be a multi-millionaire, speak on stages, throw my own events, and live a successful, happy, and fulfilled life of growth and impact in 10 years from now. That seemed so far away, but my podcast has been able to help me do that in less than 6 months. I'm actually doing all of that this year at the age of 21 with my podcast. I'm reaching thousands of people with my message, my service, my podcast, my coaching. I've gotten booked to speak on 4 stages in the last 2 months. And on these stages, I'm going to be getting in front of hundreds of my ideal clients, making roughly around 15 to 30K plus per event. Not only that, I have a network of over 100 high-level, multi-million-dollar entrepreneurs who have all agreed to speak at my events. Getting clients is a problem of the past. I've gotten the opportunities to learn from billionaires, and I'm collapsing decades of time, and I'm literally achieving what I thought was going to take me 10 years to achieve in 1 year. All of this because I use podcasting as a networking tool, and I leveraged a rare concept called the cloak track. And I want the exact same thing for you. Just imagine where you could be in 1 year from now if you get this free training right now. That is why I'm inviting you to this training. On this short training, you're going to learn how a small group of purpose-driven entrepreneurs, authors, coaches, course creators, and speakers have combined podcasting with this rare concept called the cloak track to build a multi-million-dollar network, reach thousands of their ideal clients with their message, books, courses, coaching, make an extra $118,800, get booked on 10 stages, and build a successful network of entrepreneurs who speak on their stage, all of this in under 6 months. I'm going to walk you through the 4 steps to make this work. Step number 1, alignment. Getting clear on who you want to be, what you want to do, your goals, your purpose, and aligning all of this with building your podcast and your ideal podcast guest. Step number 2, leveraging the cloak track to find your ideal podcast guest and never running out of them. Step number 3, leveraging the cloak track to close an interview with anyone, no matter how rich, famous, or out of your league they may seem. And step number 4, the content machine. The content machine is the key to tapping into other people's audiences. And I'm going to show you all of those 4 steps. The link to access this free training is in the description of this video. Click on it and go watch this training right now so that you can learn how you can too build a multi-million-dollar network that helps you achieve bigger goals faster and with less effort. Note, this training is only available to 18 people, so act right now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. Bye-bye. Been making money.
Maybe to help you.
Well, yeah, maybe, right? So I got rejection. That's all I got. And I was like, fuck, man, like, this is my purpose. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'm so committed to this. And I was like, I got the idea of starting a podcast. I was like, all right, well.
So smart. Nobody wants to be pitched, but everybody wants to be on a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. And I was like, well, if I can't sell this, I'm going to at least like start a podcast and interview, people who I believe are modern gentlemen and have conquered themselves physically, emotionally, sentimentally, financially, who have it all, right? Successful people, and that'll help me, right? I'll learn something in the process, and at the same time, I'll be able to impact anyone who watches and listens. So I started my podcast, really committed, and it's because of me, right? Out of self-love, I started my podcast, and because of self-love, I built an amazing system, right?
Yep.
So you know how most coaches, course creators, authors, speakers, right, struggle to sell coaching programs, courses, books, and get booked to speak.
Correct.
Well, what I do is I help those kinds of people, right, build a multi-million-dollar network of people who can become their clients, get them in front of hundreds of their ideal clients, invite them to speak on stage, right, help them become best-selling authors and all of that, right, by podcasting. So we combine podcasting with this concept that I call the cloak track to help you build a multi-million-dollar network that will help you achieve bigger goals faster and with less efforts. And it's a done for you service, right? And I have a recurring revenue model, and that is what I do.
That's cool.
With the system that I built for myself, that I've been using all along.
Smart. So you're just teaching others. You're doing for others what you did for yourself.
Done for you, yeah. And with the done for you service is how I'm gonna get to $1 million, right? Just 55 clients, man. That's it. And then awesome. I'll turn it in. I productize my service and then get to 10 million.
What do you so you charge just under $2,000 a month, like $400 a week or something?
I have 4 packages, for like 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. When people ask me how much does it cost, I'm like, well, it doesn't cost anything, because it's literally like, if you give me $1, I'll give you $10,000 back. That's the power of this, what we're doing. But what you're going to pay is determined by your commitment. So the 3 months is like $2,500 per month. The 6 month is $2,333 per month. The 12 months is $2,000 per month, and the 18 month, which that is what most people get, is $1,800 per month.
Yeah.
And we do everything. We find your ideal podcast guest. We close the interviews for you.
What?
We do the content machine, which is optimize everything, multiply it, like
how do you
do a bunch of clips, reels, post, and then distribute it. Social media distribution.
How do you keep up with all that? That's a lot for $1,800. How do you do all that? How do you keep up?
Well, I have a team, and I have a team of 12 right now.
You better have a team.
Exactly, right? And they're really good.
Okay, so here's a couple business questions then. Okay, just a spitball. I'm enjoying this, by the way. This is cool. So, what's your two questions? What's your average? One of your team members that manages other people's podcast and distribution, bookings, whatever. How many clients can one team member manage?
5. One podcast builder can manage 5. One chief podcast builder, that I call it, can manage three podcast builders, right? So we have the chief podcast builder, the chief commander podcast builder managing 2 chief podcast builders, and each chief podcast builder can manage 3 podcast builders, and every podcast builder can manage 5 people, 5 clients.
So, dude, this is smart, bro. This is good. Okay, so, and then the next question is, what's the average revenue per customer per month?
Well, I have a setup fee, right? The setup fee also comes down as you increase in the time. But like, the average of 2K, because most people get the 12 months or 18 months, because they get they get sold on the low.
They can't podcast for 90 days or 6 months and expect.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that's, right? If you even start a podcast and don't plan on doing it for years, it's a really dumb time investment,
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then on the content creation side, I have 3 copywriters for 15 clients. So one copywriter can manage 5 clients, 2 video content editors for 15 clients. What else? Oh, and 2 social media podcast marketing manager for 15 clients. So like right now, I just need to multiply this, what I have, 2 more times to get to my goal. So it's it's just a matter of time, right? It's not about how, but when. So like now I'm like what? Like $1 million per year? Man, I'm gonna get that pretty soon. So instead, I'm 10xing that goal and
well, at $2,000 a month per client on a retainer basis like that, it's smart. It's a smart model. It doesn't take many,
And man, like there's people out there who charge less, right? I guess.
Sure.
But no one offers more than us. I'm telling you, man, like I did this for me, right? And I love myself. And I think that was the key. And like we find your ideal podcast guest where well, there's 4 steps: alignment, right? We align building a podcast with who you're trying to
And you're
be, what
super
you're trying to
passionate
do.
about it. And you're super passionate about it too. You can feel
Yeah.
it. You guys can feel it. Listen to this, can't you? Like you can feel it, dude. This dude's passionate about it. You know what's crazy? I can't believe you actually book the guest. So how many podcasts do you release for clients per month or per week or whatever?
So
One?
4, like we can do 4
A month.
per client, 4 per week, right?
Per
Or
week?
more. Yeah, or more. Man, we have like a process. We have the process down. Like,
bro,
as I was building it, I was systemizing it, and then I was getting help in the process, and then I ended up with like this amazing process.
Geez, please, man.
And I actually have a lightning speed guarantee. No, a lightning speed guarantee because we're fast, and I also have a consistent performance guarantee that if you decide that you want to do 4 podcasts per week and we're not delivering 4 podcasts per week, I give you a free month. I give you that month for free.
Wow. Do any clients do 4 a week?
No, they usually do 1 or 2 because they're busy. Yeah.
It sounds good, but like 4 a week, I don't want to do 4 podcasts a week.
Yeah. You know, they have their own things going on. Well, maybe you could want, right? Because if your podcast is aligned with who you're trying to be, where you're trying to do, your goals and your purpose, then
that's right.
Right.
That's good, dude. This is good.
So yeah, so we made it about me, man. But let's see. So man, yeah.
I like learning about businesses, so this is cool. Yeah.
So the building a sales team then. Oh man, I think you gave me the certainty in myself to like go out and start building a sales team, and this is what I needed. So thank you, man.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm gonna focus on doing 3 things, and one of them is gonna be leading and building my team and getting on podcast.
Well, so as an example, one of my sales reps has been with us, I think under 6 months, and he just made $8,100 last month. So but he sold like 33,000 in revenue, right? So how that works is he gets $700 a week, and he gets 16% commission. His manager keeps 4%, and the manager gets 20. So the manager gets an override off the team, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't. I mean, with what we sell, because we're selling a lot of similar type plans as you, not podcast, but like exposure type retainers and like helping agency owners with exposure and recruiting in the insurance space. So a lot of people that are paying $1,000 to $5,000 a month, and they are getting 16% of that recurring. So they get one client for, let's just call it, like we just got one earlier for $3,000 a month. Let's just say they literally at like 145. Let's just say they get a client for $3,000. That's 16%. That salesperson makes $480 per month every month for a whole year.
Damn, yeah.
Right, and so it stacks, and so like you start getting reps making 70, 80, 90, 100, 120, 150 grand, 180 grand, 200 grand, like my manager. It becomes very lucrative, and then it can start to snowball because people are hearing about it, and it's easier to recruit, and you've got live testimonials, real case studies, success stories. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Also, too, one of the things that we do a morning training at the beginning of the day to kick off the day, where they're watching. I'm normally if I'm here, I'm training them. If not, they're watching my training videos, and we're also doing some we're doing some energy activity like push-ups, jumping jacks, something to get our energy up as a group. And then we are role playing for the morning, right? And then everybody takes lunch at the same time from 12:30 to 1:30 every day. And then at 1:30, till 2 o'clock, we do training again, training, energy, role playing. And the work day is 8:30 to 5:30, 9 hours, hour break, 8 hours work time with 2 trainings per day. And so the problem with salespeople is if they're left up to their own devices, they'll do whatever the heck they want. And so You got to really stay on salespeople.
And right now I'm digital. Like everyone is, we're 13 in total on my
Well,
team.
so here you go. Here's what I would do. You need a manager. Maybe you're the manager initially, but you need eventually to promote somebody within to be the manager. During COVID, at the very beginning, I hated that we did this, but we did it anyway. So whatever. We took our whole team on Zoom for 4 weeks. Okay. So for 4 weeks, I had the sales reps. We did the same thing, but everybody was on Zoom with their video on 9 hours a day. Together, a community. We did trainings in the morning. They turned their video off and went to lunch for an hour. We did trainings again at 1:30, and then they worked till 5:30. They got off Zoom, and then we did it again the next day, right? So I created this virtual office environment, and it actually didn't see like a dip in sales. I didn't like it because I had a little less control, but it still worked.
Yeah, cool. But you left, like literally you left Zoom turned on the entire 9 hours of the day?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, cool. Well, great idea, man. All right.
That's right. I mean, dude, the network piece and the knowledge piece you mentioned earlier is strong because I learned so much from other people just hanging out, going to events, getting in the room, doing podcast, hanging out with Alex, hanging out with gentlemen and women, whatever, right?
And can I tell you something else, man?
Yeah.
So last weekend I was meditating and then a name came to my mind. You want to know what it was?
What's that?
It was Understanding a Modern Queen. Right? I've been trying to get Grant Cardone on my podcast and Gary J. White and other high level men, and I haven't been able to. But I just started this podcast. I'm really good at, like, this is what I do. So I started it right away, and guess who I've been able to get on my podcast now?
Who's that?
Helena Cardone, and Daniel White, and and now I'm gonna interview, right, because they will introduce me to their men, and not only that, right, like a huge piece of being a modern gentleman is having your queen, on your side, building your empire together. So
it's cool.
Like I'm like, I know what I want, and I'm building it. Like nothing is.
And you're keeping it really simple. You're doing one thing to build a brand, and you're doing that for other people too. And you're meeting people because you're doing it. It makes sense, and it's super simple. It's super simple. I would stay on brand and focus and not, get off course, because that's easy to do too.
Oh yeah, it is. It is easy to do. But yeah, I'm focused. I don't think, what I want to do is this, man. I want to have like a mastermind, throw events, and help men like start this world movement, like your movement, like an 8% movement. Well, modern gentleman movement. But I'm earning my stripes. I learned this lesson, a year ago by failing so much. I got to learn my stripes. Even if I believe I could do it, I could help a man, right?
Yes.
I got to earn my stripes. So yeah. So man, let me ask you about. So you have a podcast, right? You have two actually.
Yeah. I do a better job at the Power Players one.
Okay.
But we also put clients on them, so it's easy to fill spots. Yeah. But we have two. Yeah.
And did you started them for like a brand or anything like that?
We already had the brand. I really just did it because I wasn't doing much from an audio standpoint, and I was doing everything video, everything YouTube. And our YouTube's grown a lot, and it's growing by several thousand subscribers a month. But I was missing out on the podcast element. I'm actually I like video better, full transparency. But a lot of people listen to podcasts. I mean, I was on a plane and I listened to a podcast Sunday because I'm trapped. I have nothing to do. I'm like, I'll just turn on a podcast, audio only, and I enjoyed it. It was good.
Okay, so that's why you started the podcast. Cool. And have you seen any other benefits from it?
Yes, it's almost like helped our follower base, our audience, consume our content in a different way if they want to,
Okay. Yeah.
And it's helped us get exposure to a lot of our top clients and partners and stuff. So it's been good. Yeah, it's been good. It's a it's a great medium. I'm just love YouTube so much, so.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do enjoy interviewing people. I've interviewed, I don't even know, probably 800 people at this point, right? So I've done a lot of interviews, not all podcasts. So I've just done it so much that it's like second nature, and I enjoy it, and it's easy. I like being interviewed better, though. I'm not gonna lie. So
Yeah, getting interviewed is really cool, right?
yeah,
So man, 0 to 6 figures. How do you go from flat broke to learning over, to earning over 6 figures per year?
that's
Tell me
good. Dude.
about your
That's
book.
good. That's good. That's good. Right there. Right there. Uh,
Awesome.
I mean, dude. We literally walk through step by steps. Like the legit basics of how anybody could do it. Right? Mindset, goals, objections, closing, working the phone, activity. Chapter 7, what's next? Building a sales team, right?
Nice.
Damn. That's how you go from 6 to 7. Is you duplicate yourself through people. And I'm actually thinking about writing a book. It's called, I did 0 to 6. I'm thinking about doing 6 to 7. Probably should. I just don't slow down. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't say this. I need to get out of this habit, but I do not like sitting down and writing a book. I do not like it. But it's one of those things nowadays that you just got to do. John Maxwell's written 73 books or something, So
it positions you, right? Like as an author, speaker, right? Like it gives you status, right?
That's correct. It does. It does do. And people reference the book all the time, and I actually forget to promote it most of the time.
Was it painful writing it? Was it like
Yeah, it was terrible.
So have
I
you
don't
read
know why my brain and my personality despises slowing down and sitting there and doing something boring for hours on end. I'd rather go run a marathon than write a book. And that would probably take me the same amount of time, right? But I don't know. It's different. It's honest, though.
Yeah. Do you meditate?
I do not.
No.
I work out I do work out 5 days a week.
Nice. Because you can feel my energy,
help.
right? Like I really relate to you. I relate to Grant Cardone. Because of the energy, right? And that's how I am. But I can sit down and be quiet and just write stuff, build systems. I can do that. I'm organized. Which is something very rare. I've talked to a lot of people, and they're like, I don't remember what book talks about this, but it talks about the integrator and the visionary.
Yes.
Well, I feel like I'm both.
What is that book? I know that book. You think you're both?
I feel like it, yeah. Because I feel
right now you are both.
Exactly, yeah.
Right now you are both. So it makes sense, rocket fuel.
And I think, man, I think it's a skill that you build it through meditation. Just calming yourself down and
yeah.
Rocket fuel. Yeah, that's the book, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I feel like I was missing out. I was like, I need a partner, but maybe I do. Maybe it would be
well,
good.
No, it doesn't mean you need a business partner. It means maybe they're a director of operations or COO. You're clearly a visionary, no doubt. You eventually can't do it all.
Exactly.
And you eventually have so many balls you're juggling that you end up dropping a bunch and they break, right? Whatever. Well, you eventually need someone that you plug into your company that, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people, most are women, on the operational side of CA and 8%. Well, that's a lot for operations, right? But they are the integrators. Got a director of operations, have my wife, etc. They take my crazy freaking ideas and they implement them. right? So that I can keep creating and keep pushing, keep promoting, so that I don't have to stop and like think and then spend a month implementing and then go back to thinking, right? My brain wants to think.
Nice. Which is the highest leverage activity.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So man, have you read Who Not How?
No, but I've heard of it.
Well, that book, it's life changing for like solopreneurs who don't delegate yet. But
Yep.
like this guy, the author, the guy who takes credit from writing this book actually
Yep.
did not write this book. Right? He like delegated the writing of the book.
I love that. So the formula to achieve the who, not how, the formula to achieve bigger results. Dude, I or goals or whatever. I can relate to this so much. Like I'm guessing, I haven't read it. Have you read it?
Yeah, I've read it.
I'm guessing it's the concept of filling, not how do I do something, but who is going to do it.
Exactly.
Right? So that's where when we want to grow the team. So I'll give you an example. We talked about salespeople earlier. Okay, and you'll relate to this. You'll get it. I have lost a couple of salespeople on the CA and 8% side.
Okay.
And I've got a few salespeople right now. Well, I need to grow it substantially. Like our company would double by the end of the year. We just had 6 or 8 more salespeople, right? So, well, how do I do that? Well, it means the director of operations got to start hiring more, but she's also really busy. It means I've got to start focusing on it, which is a terrible use of my time, or maybe it's not, right? So I just made the decision last week. We are going to hire a full-time recruiter to sit in my office and hire salespeople 24/7 and run like 15, 20 interviews a week. Well, do you think we'll find good salespeople and explode the sales team because of the who, right?
Not how.
Totally.
Yeah, great analogy, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So then, man, that book is like life changing for people because it breaks all the limited beliefs that entrepreneurs have when they start.
I agree with it. I agree with it so much. And I haven't even read it, but I agree with it so much.
And then if you hear the story of how the guy delegates his book, it might be a good idea for you to implement.
I need to do that. That's for sure. What's funny is I've got keynotes. I've got keynotes galore. I've got trainings. I've got videos galore. Like you know what I mean? They could take the content and turn it and make a book, right? So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, man, I lost track of time, but we have 5 minutes and I end my interviews with 5 questions, man.
Okay. Let's do it.
And the first one is, if you could give your 20-year-old self some advice, what would that be?
Oh, I wish I would have put myself out there sooner. From a brand standpoint, from a person standpoint, like I avoided social media. I was terrible on video. I didn't do any of that. I didn't think it was necessary. I thought it was dumb. I was wrong.
Yeah. Awesome.
I would have a million people follow me right now or more if I just started when I was your age,
Man, I have 7 people following me right now because I lost my Instagram and I had to create a new one.
I was trying to find your Instagram a second ago.
Yeah. So
what is it? What's your IG?
The new one is the Modern Gentleman SHF 1.
Jeez.
It's long, right?
Yeah.
But that was the best that I can find because Alex Ramirez is not available and SHF.
SHF 1.
And it's really bad. I haven't even logged into it. My team has posted a couple of things and wrote something on my bio, but I gotta go and fix it.
Got it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, there's the answer to question number 1.
The second one is mindset. What is a mindset shift that you've had that you think is contributing to your success?
Investing more in my business. Like paying to solve problems. So if I have a problem, I need to hire maybe the who as a coach, right? I am tired of having problems and not solving them, so I invest money to solve problems.
Who Not How says, if you have enough problem to solve a problem, then you don't have a problem.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Good.
So, Map, do you have any advice for people who may lack or need clarity for their life?
Huh. I mean, I believe in, I have this 12-step scaling exercise that I put people through. But I think you need to get with your spouse or whoever, and you need to whiteboard out what you want your life to look like. Like I want my life to look like I'm traveling around the world on private jets, speaking to hundreds of thousands of people, millions a year, where we own $1 billion in real estate. We have TV shows that we're producing. Like I'm not unclear on what the end looks like. Is it subject to change? Totally. But I know what I need to do today to help me get closer to that later.
Nice. So whiteboard, like get together with your wife and whiteboard how you want your life to look like.
Yeah, cool. Jot down ideas, like whatever you want it to be like,
Yeah, awesome. Mindset Map, motion. What is one habit that you think is contributing to your success? One habit that you have right now?
Working out every day.
That keeps you sane.
Yeah, it keeps me sane. It allows me, my personality is very annoyed and feels like I've never accomplished anything when I first wake up. Okay. So that gets that stress out. I'm a more positive person. I'm also a more focused person. I talk and speak better and work faster and think quicker when I get a workout in. So if anybody's like, I don't like working out, well, I didn't like working out either. And then in November of 2018, I committed to working out every day because I felt like a hypocrite. So I'm telling you, if you're listening and you're not, I promise you it's holding you back. And all you're doing by telling me you don't like to work out, you don't want to work out, is that you don't want to go as high as you can and that you don't want to reach your maximum potential. And maybe you don't. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. That's why I work out, because I want to make
sure. Look at you, bro. He's jacked. He's jacked.
Thanks. Yeah, like I want to make sure that like this machine that you're seeing here is the best that it can be.
That's right.
To take me to my goals, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
Mindset Map, motion, measure. What do you think about measuring and tracking, Cody?
Oh, you have to measure anything that's important. It's got to be measured.
Exactly.
I mean, we're tracking our ticket counts multiple times a day for our conference. Like if it's important, you should always know and have an update for it constantly.
Mindset, map, motion, measure, money. That's what everyone wants. So to get it, you got to get those four right.
That's right.
Cody, thank you very much, man. Where can people find, what would be the best place to go in, and look you up to get more of you and to find out what you got going on in your conference and everything in your book?
Cody Askins on YouTube, and then Cody.Askins on IG on Instagram.
Awesome, man. Well, I really enjoyed this episode, man. First, like this was very different. I felt very different. I don't know. Maybe it was because like you were like one of the first people that I followed starting my career. When I was selling insurance. I don't know why, but it was kind of different for me. It was really cool. Thank you, man, and I appreciate you. And I'll see you later.
You too, brother. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you for watching the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with one friend, leave us a comment, and let us know. 99% of people never leave a review or comment, but we love and are very thankful with the 1% of you who do. If there's something or someone you want to see on this podcast, send me a message on Instagram at Alex_Ramirez1020 and let me know. As a thank you for that, I have an amazing surprise for each and every one of you who does take the time to leave us a comment or review on YouTube or one of the major podcasting platforms